good morning. It's morning here, y'all. If you haven't deciphered, through this quarantine, I get up early on the days that I need to film because trying to cut my day and say, oh, hey girls, I'm gonna go film, or hey Chad, you can finish packing up the house, I'm gonna go film, just doesn't cut it. So it's pretty early in the morning for me. So I'm gonna do a fun video today, hopefully. Pat McGrath actually sent me over a few products, and so I wanted to use them with y'all because I know, like, when the foundation launched and the powder launched, y'all asked me to review them and I never did. So I'm gonna kind of do a little mini review on those. I got my first big Pat McGrath palette, so we're gonna be using that, and just a couple of other things. I know I've been going pretty heavy on the get ready with me tutorial type videos, so I'm only gonna focus on the Pat McGrath things so that it's not incredibly long and you don't have to see me do a full face 5,000 times in a row. But I will link everything else that I use down below. This is not sponsored. They just sent me the products and I chose to do the video. And the next video will be my favorite, so y'all can just take a break from watching me put makeup on. But let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with the Pat McGrath Labs, obviously, Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. So this is $68. From my count, it comes in 38 shades. I may be counting wrong, but even still, that's a very good shade range. And I got the color Light Medium 14, which is for light to medium skin tones with a neutral olive undertone. It does have a pump, and I am going to start out with one pump, and I'm going to be using my Sephora Pro Diffuser number 64. You can't get this exact brush anymore. Apparently they have changed the Pro line, which is really disappointing because this is so good. But this is the one that I reach for whenever I'm using more of like a serum, really runny consistency foundation. It just seems to work really well. I'm not going to use a primer, so this is my skin with absolutely nothing on it. And I'm going to do 2 pumps. So that is the color and the consistency. It's pretty runny. This claims to be a long-wearing, customizable foundation. It builds from sheer to medium coverage. It has a natural finish, and it says to be best for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin types. It has a Vita Serum Complex that moisturizes and helps fight the appearance of wrinkles. A diamond core powder technology that enhances the skin's texture and helps smooth and blur the appearance of fine lines, pores, and imperfections. It is silky, weightless, and imparts a filtered, soft focus luminosity. So that was incredibly fast. How that blended out. I do like to stipple these kind of products in when they're this light and this kind of liquidy. But I like the color on me, so this is the Light Medium 14, and this is nothing. No, obviously my arms are a little bit darker than my face, so that's why this needs to be a tad darker. But overall, it works great. Now, this foundation does have alcohol in it. It's pretty high up on the list. It's number 4 in the ingredients. And I just realized I forgot to put my corrector on. So if you are completely against alcohol, you aren't going to want to get this. However, I have talked before about how I'm a little less strict on alcohol than I used to be. It does not have fragrance, which is good. This does not dry my skin out, which you would assume something with alcohol so high up on the list would. And there are other foundations that do. There are some foundations who have it like number 3 on the list, and I just can't get away from how tight and uncomfortable it makes my skin feel. I did not have this issue with this foundation because this is not the first time I've worn it. So just wanted to note on that because I know somebody's going to ask me that. And I think at the beginning that's why I didn't purchase it, but it's actually a really pretty foundation. It's right up my alley because it does have that good like light to medium coverage. And I feel that it really does kind of blur out any imperfections. It's really pretty on the pores. Let me put the corrector on and I'll do a close-up. So hopefully you can see. It just kind of diffuses everything. Makes everything really soft and blurred. Which, you know, I've never said that about a foundation and then said, oh, I just don't like the way it looks. So, I like the way this looks. They sent me one of their concealers. Now, I already had the color Light Medium 9. I will swatch both of these to give you an indication of the difference in shade. And then they sent me light 7. So that is light medium 9, and that is light 7. So you can see there is a pretty drastic difference within those two numbers. So I think because I'm not a fan of like really bright under eyes that I'm going to mix these two. I've talked about this concealer before. I've had it for a while. Let's see when I got my first one, because I always label it. Oh my goodness, I did not label when I got this. I think I've had it for, I don't know, whenever it first launched. It was something that I did buy right after it launched. I just put the same color on twice when I had every intention of putting this brighter color. Maybe I need to stop filming so early in the morning. I'm typically a morning person, but these allergies, my allergies are killing me right now. So I could like sleep for way longer than I do. So this concealer, I feel like it has a good solid medium coverage. I do have concealers that are fuller coverage, but I also have many that are much lighter. So if you're someone who likes that like right in the middle, this is a good concealer. I do think it is pretty high in pigment, and I will check here in just a second how much it is and how many shades. When I first got this concealer, I was like, it's okay. I liked it especially with the under eye setting powder from Pat McGrath. But the more that I use it, the more I have liked it. Like it does wear really well for me. And I really only wear the Pat McGrath setting powder. So it looks like there's 36 colors. It's hard for me to count the numbers on Sephora, but it looks like there's 36 colors of that concealer, and it is $32. It's not Monday. Why is the truck here? Oh, they're picking up leaves. Y'all won't have to worry about that in like, how long? A little over a month. I'll be in the new house. I'm so excited. So let's let this sink in, and we're going to start playing with the Mothership Bronze Seduction palette. Look at how pretty. This is not new. Y'all have probably all seen this 500 times over after it launched, because I know everybody and their mama got it and did a review on it. But this palette is gorgeous. It does only have 3 mattes in it, and from what I understand from getting it, and I've had a couple of her like smaller 6-pan palettes, she doesn't put as many mattes in as she does shimmer and sparkle colors. And that would probably be my only negative to say about these palettes, is that I personally really would like some more mattes. I use more mattes on my eyes. I think for the majority of us we do. I mean, even if it was like an even Steven, you know, like 5 mattes, 5 sparkles, that would be fine. So I am going to have to go into a bronzer first for a transition color, because the lightest color is just, I mean, it's too dark for me to use as a transition. However, the mattes, I find that she excels in. Like, I love the mattes from Pat McGrath's formula, which is another reason I just wish that she would do many more. I would love an all matte palette from her. Maybe one day she'll do it, and I will jump all over that. But in the meantime, I'm going to start with a transition color of my bronzer that I plan on using today, which is the Kosas bronzer in medium. So I'm just going to put that in my crease just to give a little bit of a softer color to start and have the darker colors blend onto. Now I'm going to take that color that I just swatched right up here, and these do have names, but they're not on the palette. There's just a paper that comes with it, and so this color is called Entrapment. And I'm going to take the Sonia G Crease Pro Brush. It's a little bit skinnier than what I just used, because I just want to get this in a little bit more detailed spot. So just in my crease, a little bit out on the edge of corner, outer corner, edge of corner, you know what I mean? And you'll see just how easily these blend out. Such a gorgeous formula. That truck does not know what it's doing. These do have a little bit of kickback in the pan, and you'll want to make sure that you really tap them off so you don't get much fallout. So there are a couple of different formulas in the shimmer shades in this palette. So this one right here, this like ivory color, and then this really gorgeous like burgundy, not burgundy, but more like just terracotta, salmony, maroon color, are more of satin shimmers. So they swatch without much glitter in them at all. It's just a pretty sheen. This one right here is kind of similar to just the satin shimmers too. It's more of like just a sheen. But these four right here are way more glittery. So that's the gold. This is the peach. I wore the peach yesterday. And then of course you have these super bright, very chunky. So these are a little bit chunky, so you're going to have to work a little bit differently with them if you're not familiar with these kind of shadows. Fingers are necessary in my opinion for application, because you can see that's the yellowy color, and then that's that, I think it's called, yeah, Astral Lunar Gold. So it's a very like triple chrome. I feel like no matter where you turn it, you're going to get a different shade. There's pink, there's blue, there's gold, there's yellow. Lots of, horrible swatch, but lots of different options. But you can see how much chunkier those shades are. So just be aware, I do find those shades work best with the fingers. Now, I did wear the peach yesterday, like I said, and I didn't find that it really transferred on me throughout the day, like so many of those topper type shades tend to do. Like they'll get under my eyes, put more sparkle almost under my eyes by the end of the day than it has on my lid, which is not a look that I'm going for. So I do appreciate how these do not do that. I'm going to go into Blitz Flame, which is this really pretty color right here. And I'm going to pick it up on a flat shader brush. And I'm going to put that on the outer corner of my lid. So again, these shades pick up nicely and lay down nicely with a shader brush. I tried to use a shader brush yesterday with that peach color and it was just not happening. I gotta change my battery. I also find kind of patting them in like this versus, you know, just swiping gives a better payoff. So that color is very, very pretty. I wiped that brush off and I'm going to go into Skin Show Divine Glow, which is this first kind of creamy color, and put that in the inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to build this color up because I am going to top it and I still want it to show through. So I'm going to build it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to go in and just go big or go home, and I'm going to use one of these pretty colors. I'm going to use the top one, Fire Opal. That one right there. I'm just going to put a little bit on my finger, tap it off, and just kind of put it in the middle, just to give a really pretty duochrome effect to the look. I hope you can see it. I don't want to cover the entire lid. I don't want to take away that pretty, you know, red color, which might be my favorite color in the palette. And I don't want to take away from the brightness that I put on the inner corner. I just want to give a little pop of shimmer. So let's move on to setting the face, both the under eyes and the face. So we will do very quickly the Pat McGrath Labs Light Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection under eye setting powder, because I've talked about this a lot. I've used it with a brush. I have used it with a puff. Both works great. I'm using the Wayne Goss number 2 brush right now just to kind of press it under the eyes to set that concealer. And it just looks flawless all day long. Which when you get to be someone who's turning 40 in a few months, you want those under eyes to look flawless. Now let's talk about the powder. I'm going to be honest, I did not hear the best reviews for this when it first launched. It is $55 and it comes in 5 different shades. I'm going to be using Light 1. This is a talc-based powder, which some people do not like. It has 5 grams or 0.17 ounces. It's not the most amount of product, but it's not the least either. And it does come with a mesh pad. Now there's no cover to put over this mesh pad, so if you accidentally, you know, tap out too much one time, you're not going to be able to like cover that up. So just be aware of that when you open the container. I don't have hardly any, so I am going to shake a little bit out. And then I'm going to be able to use basically what's on that cap, and I might need to touch more, but I do like how it's not a ton that comes out. It claims that it's buildable, ultra weightless, luxe setting powder that imparts radiant perfection in 5 shades formulated to match any skin tone. It has amino acids, a lighter than air proprietary powder blend, an ultralight pure powder blend that gives barely there feel on the skin with a unique sensorial application. This actually does have fragrance in it, but it says it is less than 1% of synthetic fragrance. I don't smell anything. It's also free of parabens. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 102 brush, and I'm going to tell you that I do like this powder. This powder is one of those ones that blurs the face so well. Like, I know I said the foundation was blurring too, but this powder really is. And while I don't think it's super mattifying, like it may have just taken down the shine on my face a little bit, I find that it keeps my face more matte throughout the day than other powders. And typically I'm not a fan of that. I like to have a glowy face, but there are some days, like today, which heavens knows I don't need to put makeup on at all because I'm not going anywhere, but we are cleaning our garage today to get ready to put our house in the market. And I'm going to be outside all day, and I'm going to probably get hot and gross. And so if I were to go in with like a super luminous foundation and a super luminous setting powder, by the afternoon, I would look like a hot mess. This is going to keep my foundation and makeup looking good all day long and not overly greasy. So for events and things like that, this is the type of powder that I reach for. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of my face and we will come back and do lipstick. Okay, I totally forgot to film me doing my under eyes, but basically I just took that maroon color and brought it under my eyes. So the only thing we have left is lips. Now Pat McGrath has a lot of different lipsticks, lip glosses, different finishes. There's the Luxe Trance lipstick, the Matte Trance lipstick, the Lip Fetish lip balm, the Opulust lip gloss. This is the Blitz Trance that I got, which can we talk about this packaging? And it's in the color 134 Lady Stardust. I mean, come on. Color. I honestly don't know how well this color is going to go with this eye look, but we're just going to do it. Let me see if this has a description. It says it's a shimmer light rose mauve with a champagne sheen. That sounds fancy, doesn't it? It's a little sticky, but I think that's just because I am not just a lipstick girl. I have to put a gloss on it. So I'm going to put a NARS gloss on top, but you're still going to be able to see that pretty color. And that's all I needed. I just have to have some kind of gloss. I need to get one of the Pat McGrath glosses because I've heard they're amazing. But you'll still be able to see that really pretty color. I love this color. Very, 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 very me. So that is the finished look, y'all. That is my Pat McGrath look. I absolutely love everything I tried. I don't have a negative thing to say about any of it. The only thing I would say is that I wish there were more mattes in the eyeshadow palette. But other than that, I really enjoy everything. I actually really like the foundation and powder combination a lot more than I thought I would, honestly, which is not fair of me to say, but I'm glad that I got it. Let's just say that. So thank you, Pat McGrath, for sending me these products. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I hope you're staying sane, healthy, safe, and most of all, go out and have a very blessed day.